आर फूड स्टोर्स, मेयार का नाम, मुनासिब दाम।
हेलो बेटा।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम मम्मी जान, ईद की तैयारियां कैसी चल रही हैं?
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, तुम्हारी मदद की वजह से बहुत ही अच्छी। अब सबको अपना अपना हिस्सा ठीक से मिल जाएगा। इतनी जल्दी रकम कैसे पहुंचा दी?
ये तो बहुत ही आसान था। वर्ल्ड रेमिट आपकी रकम मिनटों में पहुंचा देते हैं कि आप ईद पर मेरी तरफ से एक अच्छा सा जोड़ा खरीद लें।
माशाल्लाह बेटा, तुम तो अभी घर भी नहीं पहुंचे और रकम मुझ तक पहुंच भी गई। जीते रहो बेटा।
World Remit, a better way to send money. Download the app or visit worldremit.com.
एक बार फिर कुर्बानी का वक्त आन पहुंचा है। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, गुज़िश्ता साल यूके इस्लामिक मिशन ने आपकी दी कुर्बानी को दुनिया भर में 6 लाख से जायद इंतहाई मुस्तहक लोगों तक पहुंचाया। इस साल भी जरूरतमंद खानदानों तक कुर्बानी का ताज़ा और सेहतमंद गोश्त पहुंचाएं। सिर्फ 25 पाउंड से इस्लामी उसूलों के मुताबिक कुर्बानी दीजिए। टू बुक योर कुर्बानी कॉल नाउ 0207 387 2157 or visit ukim.org.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
In the heart of Peterborough, this is Salam Radio.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, delighted to have your company. My name is Ansar Ali and you're listening to Your Voice on Salam Radio, and with me co-hosting the program is
Shaz Nawaz. And assalamu alaikum everybody.
Delighted to have your company, and really it's not just your company that we're looking for. We would like you to participate, because this program is all about hearing your voice, your views on Islam Radio. It's a community radio station, and we're inviting you to have your say on some of the topical issues that we have within our communities. And I'm sure you've got your own views. Don't be shy. We're not here to catch anyone out. We just want to hear your views, and we want to encourage you to express those in the appropriate manner without any party politics or personalizing your particular points of view. Generically, you can just have a say and make sure that you make your point. It's so important that we encourage our communities, our listeners, to have your say on things that matter to us.
Absolutely, and that's the whole point why we've done this show, as you know, is to listen to people's views, take them on board, and of course share them through the different hats that you and I wear. And that encourages dialogue with other people, and it helps us form better and stronger opinions, and that's exactly what we intend to do today. So what's on the agenda for this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, you will recall that 2 weeks ago we ran out of time, because we usually give people 3 topics, and we only got through 2. Because the third one, unfortunately, we couldn't cover. So we're going to start with the third one as the first one for today's show, and that is your views on the provision of public transport in Peterborough. Are you happy with the provision? Any thoughts on improving public transport? And as I said, this topic was left over from the last program 2 weeks ago, and we consider taxis as a public transport as well. You might have a view over that. Do we have too many taxis? Are they too expensive, too cheap? Do we have enough buses to take us from A to B? If you want to go to the hospital, do you think that it's convenient for you to hop onto the bus to go to the hospital? Is it easier, cheaper for you to get a taxi? Are you happy with the provision? What changes would you like to see in public transport here in Peterborough? We want to hear your views, and it's as simple as picking up your phone and giving us a call. Our telephone number is 01733 602 133. You can also text us as well, and our text telephone number is 07411 191062. You can comment on live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So many choices. So there you are. You can't go wrong, and we love to hear your views. Honestly, we do. And just give us a call. And so this is the first topic, public transport in Peterborough. And as a prize, and I know lots of our listeners are big fans of the late and great Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, the legend. No longer with us, but his voice will live on forever, for generations to come. And great artist. And I've got two of his qawwalis lined up, ready to be played. Won't play all of them because they're quite long. One is nearly 20 minutes long. The other one is just short of 6 minutes. And I'll tell you which ones they are. And give us a call and tell us also, as you give your views on public transport, any particular qawwalis which are favorites of yours, particular one that stands out for you, of Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, and then we will give you a treat as one of those two qawwalis. And let me tell you which ones those are. They're two of my favorites, and Shaz loves listening this. My favorites. Is karam ka karun shukr kaise ada. You know, we are blessed with so much, brothers and sisters. And really, this particular qawwali, the lyrics, the words are so powerful. How can we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the blessings that we have sometimes? Brothers and sisters, all of us, we probably don't appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enough for all the blessings that we all have. So, Is karam ka karun shukr kaise ada is one of them. And the second one is, again, beautifully entitled, Wohi Khuda hai. Wohi Khuda. Yeah, He is Allah, our Creator, who has blessed us with so much. Okay, so one of those two qawwalis, inshallah, I will treat you to if you give us a call right now and share your views on public transport. And it's not just about buses and trains, it's also about
taxis, trains,
yeah,
and anything else that people would like to see. Because, in fact, before I go,
we don't have any rickshaws here, so we won't be talking about that.
We could even talk about that and see what.
Can we introduce rickshaws here? Yeah.
Well, you get those kind of mini version rickshaws in London, don't you? And the kind of bikes, and at the back you can have two people sat there. So that's like a rickshaw, isn't it? Without an engine. So yeah, why not? If there's a demand. I mean, obviously in London there is, and people usually aren't travelling that far in the city or the West End, so it works well.
Yeah.
But I like what you've done here. You've picked two of your favourite qawwalis, and then what you'd like people to do is to enable you to listen to one of those qawwalis you want them to ring.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So basically, my plea to the general public and our listeners is, please put a smile on Mr. Ansar Ali's face and send us a message through WhatsApp or my phone or his phone or Facebook, or call in. But ask us a question, participate, so he can listen to one of his favourite qawwalis. I think that would be a good deed.
And last time I think I said that as well, but we ran out of time.
We did. That's right.
So inshallah, with your help, brothers and sisters, hopefully I will get a chance to play one of those qawwalis, listen to it, and inshallah we will all enjoy one of those qawwalis, inshallah, this afternoon during the program, your voice. But the condition is, you've got to give us a call and share your views on public transport provision in Peterborough. And it's as simple as picking up your phone, mobile phone or your home phone, wherever you are, and dialing this number, 01733 602 133. You can also give us a call, text us on 07411 191062. But we'd like you to go live on air.
That
because
would be
we want to
better.
hear your voice.
Of course.
Because, I mean, I'm sure when I really think about it, and I don't mean it the wrong way, brothers and sisters, but alhamdulillah, just to share with you, you've had to put up with me for 18 years. Some of you remember on the BBC, then Radio Ramadan, we had for several years, 2001, the first number of annual Radio Ramadan program started on Parliament Street. Then we moved on to Norfolk Street, Radio Ramadan, and alhamdulillah, following that, 5 years ago this month, we started broadcasting Islam Radio. We were successful in obtaining a license for 5 years initially, but now we've been granted another 5 years, alhamdulillah.
But I tell you what, it doesn't feel like 18 years to me. It feels like more like 48 years to me.
Yeah,
because
yes.
I know you started.
It's a bit slow going.
You started public service in 1978.
Alhamdulillah.
So
yes.
it's about 43 years to be
Okay.
precise, and it feels like 43 years to me, by the way.
Okay.
So,
Well, yeah, that's all right.
So don't do a disservice to yourself by just saying 18 years, but 18 years of radio. And in fact, I remember your days at the BBC when I was a young nipper. So
Yeah,
I'm probably giving
well,
my age away now, but I'm sure I don't wish to embarrass you.
Yeah.
But yeah, public transport. I think we'll start with buses, if I may.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So some of I think in some of the areas the bus service works okay, but from what I hear, generally speaking, is and I'll use a random example. Somebody who wants to go from Breton to Alton, for example, they sometimes tell me they have to come all the way into town, then take another bus to go to Alton, and sometimes I've heard stories of different places where by going from A to B, they've got to catch 3 different buses. So I think it's partly chicken and egg here, as in if you speak to Stagecoach, they'll say the demand isn't there, and if you speak to passengers, they'll say the supply isn't there, and I think the supply should come first and the demand will come without doubt. So I think buses need to improve, and I know there are conversations taking place of having some kind of a franchise system possibly at some point in the future, which will increase the competition and improve the service. Alongside that, something interesting that I've heard a few times, and you may have too, by the way, so it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts and the thoughts of our listeners, is why doesn't Peterborough have a tram system?
Yeah, when you go to Manchester and many other cities
Birmingham,
up and down the country,
Nottingham, yeah,
they have trams as well. And it's all designed. The reason that we're talking about this, that we need to talk about our environment. When we don't use public transport collectively, if we take too many cars on the road, all that fumes, all the pollution that creates as well, that obviously affects the environment basically. So I think we have to be conscious of that, and the reason we want to talk about public transport so that we can actually at least think about things like that, be aware of that, because we all have a responsibility to make sure that we reduce carbon emissions, because that all affects our health and well-being.
absolutely. And then alongside that, obviously it's different in different areas, but the area where you and I are from, in terms of air pollution, it's pretty bad, isn't it, compared to other parts of the city? Yeah. And obviously the high use of cars affects that, whereas obviously if you've got a tram system or more people are relying on public transport or perhaps walking, then that will reduce the overall pollution. And so that's extremely important. So yeah, I'd be keen to hear the thoughts of our views in terms of, would a tram system work in Peterborough? Is Peterborough big enough? Is there enough demand? Do they think it's viable? Do they think it's a good idea? Would they be willing to use a tram if we had that in Peterborough? That would be good. Also keen to hear what people think of the current bus system and the operations. But alongside that, kind of going off on a bit of a tangent, because we're talking about public transport, quite often people talk about Stagecoach and where they are situated right now in the heart of Millfield, saying that isn't very convenient in terms of traffic gets stuck on Lincoln Road and there's long queues and jams, and they'd like to see that move. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Ali?
I think traffic is a problem, to be honest with you. I mean, I enjoy walking, as you know. And sometimes when I see people, I'm probably they're probably past me in their car, and I've been walking for 5 minutes, and I find that just not too far away, within a furlong, I catch up with them, and they're in the car, and I've caught up with them basically, and that is due to the traffic congestion basically. And I think wherever possible, brothers and sisters, I would encourage people to walk, cycle if you can, because walking is good for your health, and it keeps you fit as well, and you are not creating any pollution. So, I'm trying to avoid use of your car if at all possible. But in terms of, in terms of traffic congestion, that is a real issue because we have got too many cars on the roads. And I mean, if it's not just in terms of as we travel, but when, when you talk about some of the urban areas, people, I think car has become a necessity to certain individuals because of getting to work, etc., and convenience. Parking is another issue as well. When you've got urban areas where there are terraced houses, which were built 150 years ago, at that time we didn't have.
Well, even now, if you look at Cromwell Road, from when you came to Peterborough and from my earlier days back in the 80s and even early 90s, there weren't that many cars. So I'm only talking about 30 odd years ago. Do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
And even when I learned to drive, there was plenty of parking space on Cromwell Road, and you go there now, it's chock-a-block. I know we've got the extended families and more than 2 or 3 people living in a home, and that's fine. But pretty much, when I talk to people, they say, well, in our household, we've got 2 cars, 3 cars, sometimes 4 cars, and that's partly why people are obviously moving out as well. So you're right, that causes a problem for people as well. But talking about transport generally, I think our train system works well, especially our connection to London and
But it's quite
the
expensive,
north.
Shaz.
Yeah, I was about to come on to that. But it costs a lot of money, especially, I mean, if you go to London at, let's say, 8 o'clock in the morning, I tell you what, it's an eye-watering amount. I think it's about £125 just on standard class. It is very expensive, isn't it? So I think that needs to be subsidised in some form or nationalised to improve the overall service and also the pricing to encourage more people to travel. But you're right, it is expensive, but it's a good line. The East Coast Main Line, I think, works well for Peterborough, serves the people of Peterborough extremely well. So that's working okay, apart from the main bugbear, which I think you and I and many other people have, is extortionate. It's very, very expensive, which puts people off. But coming back locally, interesting thing about that I learned last week, which I wasn't aware of, by the way, from the Hackney trade. Not too long ago, we had, I think, just over 200 or around 200 Hackney carriages. And I was told a few days ago, now we've got about 110. So the number of cabs has reduced significantly, and one can only assume that's because there isn't demand there, and people have chosen another trade, professional vocation to go into. So that doesn't seem to be working too well. But generally speaking, when I'm talking to people, I think people are happy with the provision of taxis. Now that obviously with using apps and whatever else, it's even more efficient than it used to be before. I think pricing is a challenge when I talk to taxi drivers. I'm sure you've had those conversations as well. I mean, they're charging less now than they used to 20 years ago. I don't know how that works for a particular trade, because generally speaking, most things 20 years ago were cheaper than they are today. But taxis, it seems the opposite, and just startles me how people actually afford to make livings, and sometimes they have to work day and night, and it's just incredible, isn't it?
It is. I mean, and that's all the more reason we really want to hear from taxi drivers, either private hire or Hackney drivers, about public transport provision, because they also provide a public service, basically. I mean, do they have a view on that? Do they think that they are actually really cheap? Because I remember one of my colleagues, when I was at one of the meetings, and they had to call a taxi, and they weren't used to ordering a taxi and getting it from one spot to go to the railway station. And when the colleague said to them that how much is going to cost, and the response was, my God, that's really cheap. And the response from the local colleague was, oh, we are very lucky in Peterborough because taxis are really cheap here in Peterborough. Do you share that view? Do you think taxis are really cheap in Peterborough? And do you think they charge a fair fare? Or they should be charging more? Or if you're a taxi driver, do you think that you're charging too little and you are finding it difficult to make ends meet at the end of the day? We have also mentioned about possible introduction of trams in Peterborough. Will that affect your trade? Is it something that you would welcome? What about buses? All these different things. What sort of impact will they have on your capacity to earn a decent living? So all these things have to be taken the whole. And really, if you're a taxi driver, and we want to hear from you as well. And that it's easy. You can give us a call on 01 733 602 133. And for my taxi driver friends, if you're listening and if you can make that call, if you've got a couple of spare moments, give us a call, have a conversation with us, and again, tell us about the late and the great Ustad Mr. Twati Ali Khan, and I will treat you to one of his fantastic qawwalis. So that's a prize for you. That's the carrot that I'm dangling, if I can put it that way. But the most important thing is that we really want to hear your voice on this program on Islam Radio with me, Ansar Ali and Shaz Nawaz. We're with you every 2 weeks, and the idea of this program is to encourage our listeners, members of our community, to participate in discussions, to express their views. I'm sure that people can express their views in a proper manner without personalizing them, without politicizing them. No party politics here. We just want to hear your views. Islam Radio would welcome that. And like I said, it is an opportunity for you to be able to express your views. You're not here to catch anyone out. I know there is a certain amount of reticence within our community, and that's what we are trying to overcome. I know people have views. When we come across them within our travels as well, people will share those views with us one-to-one. But what we're trying to encourage here, that when there are any meetings, when you are sent an email or a letter, whatever, or made a telephone call to express a view, then please don't shy away. It is so important that we share our views when certain things or certain changes are being introduced. It's very important, because if you don't express your views, the outcome could well be very different to the way that what you wish to happen. So in order to make sure that you get the outcome that you want, you have to have your say and express it.
Absolutely, and that's obviously important, because you and I know how impactful public consultation is, especially when people respond. And sometimes I guess it's a bit disheartening when people feel that they're not listened to, or what they think or believe or feel doesn't matter. It really does matter, because there are so many other people who are thinking the same, but they think, is it really worth reporting this, or is it really worth sharing my view or opinion? Who's listening? Who cares? And I can tell you, people do care, because that's why you have to go through public consultation, because if enough people share a particular view, similar view, the same view, that has an impact on policy and the thought process and procedures. So it's extremely important people get involved. But I just wanted to share a quick story with you and our listeners. I was talking to a friend of mine a while back, and he's retired, and he said, I don't have a car anymore. So I said, how do you get around? He said, it's easy. I worked out how much it cost me a year to keep a car, run a car. Yeah. I then worked out how many journeys I do, and he said, He travels to town here, there, whatever,
Yeah.
mainly locally, or if he
Yeah.
if he has to go out, he usually uses the train service. He said it was far cheaper for me to use taxis than have my own car and pay for the finance, and then I've got the wear and tear, the insurance, the repairs, the MOT, the service, all of that, and then the headache of obviously parking the car here, there, driving around. He said it just worked out cheaper to travel by taxi, so that's what I do now. I've sold the car and I just use taxis. So that's how competitive it is out there for taxi drivers, and I do sometimes hear their stories and how challenging it is. I mean, I obviously understand how competition works, but I think maybe there should be a review of kind of improving that for drivers, because some of them are working really long hours just to make ends meet, put food on the table, pay the bills. It is difficult, you know. So
You know, when you work long hours, we all have our families, and many of these taxi drivers that work in the trade, they have children who are of school age, you know, and they're missing out on family time, missing out on the quality of life if you are working too many hours, basically. So, you know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you in good health, and it's important that we work hard and earn our living in a halal way, you know, and that's very important. And I know our listeners, our brothers and sisters, feel very strongly about that, and that is to be encouraged and to be complimented. Nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, brothers and sisters, we know what's happening. If the children don't have that family time, they don't have that father figure to talk to, then, you know, then things can be quite challenging within the family system, basically. So it's very important for all of us to make some time for our children, talk to them about their schooling, because it's, you know, we'll be talking about these issues, but bullying has become a big issue as well. And if you're not talking to your child, making that time, there could be suffering, bullying at school, basically. So brothers and sisters, you know, yes, great, working hard for a living, for an honest living, nothing wrong with that, but also quality of life should never be compromised, basically, and family time. We are going to a break very shortly, but we want you to give us a call at the other side of the break, please. It's Ansar Ali and Shaz with the fortnightly program, Your Voice. We want to hear your voice. Make a note of our telephone number once again. If you want to give us a call, it is 01733 602 133. And on the other side of the break, inshallah, we'll introduce you to our second topic as well. But again, you know, it is an ongoing discussion. We want you to have a view on public transport, including taxis, buses. Any new ideas that you may have would be welcome. Stay right where you are. We'll be right here on Islam Radio, inshallah. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Everyone can now get free rapid COVID-19 tests twice a week. They show your results within 30 minutes. They also show you're doing what you can to protect your loved ones, your friends, your workmates, and that you want to keep life moving again. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be a friend, a relative, a workmate. It could even be you. Rapid tests are easy to get from nhs.uk/get tested. Let's take this next step safely.
Looking to improve your living space? Plan your dream home with AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms. We design, manufacture and install your perfect kitchen or bedroom to your personal space and taste, with clever storage utilising every inch. We pride ourselves on our exquisite attention to detail. Let AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms plan your perfectly tailored space, fitted around you. We also offer bespoke services for understairs storage, TV units and feature walls, all designed and manufactured by us. Call us now on 01733 686 767 or visit abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk. Open to the trade and public. AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms, Unit 3 Brassey Close, Peterborough, PE1 2AZ. Plan your dream home with us. abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk.
Hello, son.
Assalamu alaikum, Mum. How are the preparations for Eid coming along?
Walaikum assalam. Really well. Thanks to your contribution, we can make sure everyone gets their equal share. How did you get it here so fast?
Oh, it's easy. World Remit lets me send money abroad in minutes. I actually just sent you a little more before leaving work, so you can buy yourself a nice outfit to celebrate Eid from me.
MashaAllah. Wow, I've already got it. And you're not even home yet. Bless you, my son.
World Remit, a better way to send money. Download the app or visit worldremit.com.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Desi Restaurant is open, so why not order now for your family meal tonight? We've got fish pakora, chicken pakora, charga steamed chicken, lamb and vegetable samosas, biryani, pizza, faluda, jalebi, gulab jamun, samosa chaat, fresh chicken and lamb handi, lahori channa and much more. We've got it all at Desi Restaurant. Special offer, Niari Opaya with 1 naan or roti only £6. Special lunchtime offer from noon to 4 p.m. Chicken or lamb curry and 2 roti only £6. Mixed veg curry or tarka dal and 2 roti only £5. Order now at desirestaurantonline.com and pay online safely, or call us on 01733 555 795. Delivery available, or you can collect for a 10% discount. 298 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, PE1 2ND. Desi Restaurant, the trusted family favourite in Peterborough.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salam Radio.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back, brothers and sisters. Delighted to have your company. My name is Ansar Ali and my co-host is
Shaz Nawaz.
Delighted to have your company. Thank you for joining us. We've been with you for half an hour with your voice on Salam Radio, and we haven't had any calls yet. With your views on public transport. I'm surprised that our colleagues, our friends, I know they're listening because they will tell me tomorrow, when we see them later on, that they will listen to the program. But I would have expected quite a few phone calls on public transport, which also includes, of course, the taxi provision. In Peterborough, is it too cheap? Is it too expensive? Is it enough? Is it too much? Do we have enough buses? Not enough? Too many? What can we do to improve, to better it, to make sure that our taxi drivers are earning enough, their rates are not too low, they are having to work too many hours to make ends meet, their quality of life is suffering, their family time is suffering. These are just our views. You may think now that's a lot of, that's not quite right. We don't work that many hours, we are okay. You know, it's your views that we want to hear on your voice about public transport in Peterborough. And give us a call on 01733 602 133. You can message us as well. Text message 07411 09 1062. You can comment on live stream on Facebook. There are many people watching us on Facebook at the moment because it's being live on Facebook, but however you put it, basically YouTube, Twitter or Twitch. So drop us a comment, drop us a line, and we will share your views. So try and give us your name as well, please. That would be helpful. And like I said, if you go online, if you go live on air on the phone, I will treat you to one of the two koalis I've lined up featuring the voice of the late and the great Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. So our first topic was public transport provision, but your calls are still welcome. But we are going to move on to the next topic that we had lined up for discussion for today. You may already be aware, brothers and sisters, that earlier this week, I think a day or two ago, the Urgent Treatment Center and the out-of-hours GP service, which was located on Thorpe Road at the City Care Centre, has been moved to the City Hospital. So if you need to go to the urgent treatment center, minor injuries, etc., or out of hours GP service, when your own GP is not available in the evening or at the weekends, then you need to go to the City Hospital through the A&E department. That's what you have to do. And really want to hear your views. Do you think that's a good thing? All these services under one roof at the City Hospital? And do you think it's a bad move by the hospital authorities? We want to hear your views. And again, it's the same number, 01733 602 133. And you can also drop us a message on 07 411 191062. That's text messaging, and also comment on live stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Shaz, we really need to get a call because we've had quite a heavy lunch, haven't we?
We have had a very heavy lunch, courtesy of yourself, by the way.
Well,
so thank you for that.
There you are. It makes a pleasant change, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, there you are. But never mind, we'll make that up, inshallah, in the near future. No. And yeah. So you need to give us a call so that we can have a chat and keep me awake as well after this heavy lunch. And, we're here for you, brothers and sisters. Islam Radio is your community radio station. We've been going for just over 5 years now. Just only a couple of weeks over 5 years. Alhamdulillah, the first 5 years went fantastically well. The radio station, your community radio station, Islam Radio, went strength to strength. And I want to thank everyone involved, from the trustees, the management, the volunteers, because we rely on volunteers, and they've all done a fantastic job. And we've got this fantastic new studio as well, which is really very pleasant to be in. Very pleasant, and it's keeping us nice and cool as well. And things have gone, alhamdulillah, very well with your du'as and with your support. And what we are all about is promoting Islam, bringing our communities together, creating community cohesion, and making sure that all our diverse communities live together with love, peace, and harmony. That's the message of our beautiful religion of Islam, and we need to make sure that we share that with a wider community here in Peterborough and beyond. And one of the challenges that we often have as the Muslim community here in Peterborough, although we are now fourth, fifth generation, still people are a bit reluctant to have their say on the things that matter to them. So what we've done, we have actually introduced this program which Shaz and I host every 2 weeks on Islam Radio. We are calling it Your Voice, because we want to hear your voice, your views on contemporary issues, basically, because we want to build your confidence, because as you know, alhamdulillah, we feel blessed with your support and your du'as. As Shah said, alhamdulillah, I've been blessed with your support and your du'as for the last 43 years, and alhamdulillah, serving the community to the best of my ability. And if I've ever let anyone down in any way or form, please forgive me. That's never my intention, but I'm a human being as well, like all of us. None of us are perfect, but the important thing is that, like I said, I can go on, and I know I can put people to sleep as well. I can bore them. Because
I don't believe that.
But I come across quite a few people who are quite young when I first started broadcasting, and they say, sometimes they say to me that, oh yes, Uncle Ansar, we used to listen to you when I was 7 years old, 8 years old, and I said, oh yes, I know that, your mum and dad used to put my voice on so that you could go to sleep, basically, because they were finding it difficult to put you to sleep
on a Friday evening. Yeah.
So what I used to do, I used to help out, basically. So once you heard my voice, you certainly fell asleep, basically. That's what they used to tell me. I don't know how true that was. But as long as I've been of some help and give your parents a bit of respite, I'm quite happy with that. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. But, really, we want to build your confidence. And I know there are plenty of people within our community with lots of confidence. We've got well-qualified people, haven't we, Shaz? We come across young people, young women and men from our community. Alhamdulillah, I mean, the other week, Shaz, sorry, I know I'm probably, when I'm sitting on this side of the desk, I seem to be taking over, but you went to see someone, about an issue, and Hasib and this young lady, very pleasant with her mum, she was telling us, and you know what I'm like, when I talk to young people, I like to ask them, if they're studying, how well they're doing, give them a bit of encouragement, alhamdulillah. And I was talking to her, and she told me that this was the profession that she was in, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised and proud of her, because the profession was so unique in a sense. If I mentioned that on air, I think some people might be able to basically tell who that individual might be. I don't want to do that, basically. But basically, the point I'm trying to make, Shaz, I know in your travels as well, because you meet many people of your generation, who have done extremely well within our community with lots of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we're just talking about Peterborough, there's people from the Asian community now who are in pretty much every single trade, profession, vocation that one can think of. And if you're talking about professionals, there's a lot of people who've been to university, educated, smart, doctors, dentists, accountants, barristers, solicitors, IFAs, and many others as well, by the way. So people are doing incredibly well, working hard, and I think that's part of the Islamic values and the family values that we have, which is put your head down, work hard, make something of yourself, and then help the wider community to do better as well. So that's always good to see. And linking that with obviously this next topic which we're talking about is we have, alhamdulillah, a lot of doctors.
Yes,
it's still a very popular profession, isn't it?
Yeah, and nursing. A lot of people, when you go to the hospital, there's lots of young women in particular who've gone into the nursing profession as well, alhamdulillah, which is great to see, because they are of great help to particularly of many of our elders, basically, because they can speak the language, they can understand the culture as well. And when our elders go into the hospital admitted or just on outpatients appointment as well, it can be, it can be quite a daunting experience, either being admitted to the hospital or going for an appointment, because obviously your health is not too good as well. But when you see someone, who can understand you, your language, your culture, etc., and just says Assalamu alaikum to you, uncle, it makes you feel that little bit better.
Take the chill off. It makes it easier. But I'm talking about the move from the city clinic to the city hospital. I've had mixed feedback on that. So some have said, good idea. It's all in one place, one location. Sometimes we might be going for two different tests, or husband could be going for one thing, wife could be going for something else, or their partner, and that works well for them. Others have said city centre was very convenient, because either they live in and around the town centre, or it's easier to get to, because we were talking about public transport earlier, or it's near town, so they can go for their appointment or checkup, and then just go stroll into town, do a bit of shopping, meet up with friends. So I've had pretty mixed reviews on that, and I'd be keen to hear what our listeners have to say on that, because it's not for you and I to tell people whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. It's to listen to what people actually think. Have you had much feedback on this?
Yeah, I think I have to share your views on this. I don't always agree with you, but on this occasion, I'm afraid I'll have to agree with you.
That's a one-off, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a one-off. Yeah, it is mixed views as well. But my personal view is that I think it's a good thing, to be honest with you. I mean, at the end of the day, management have to make these difficult decisions. There was a consultation that was held. And again, when we talk about people giving feedback and having their say, I don't know how many people who are listening to this program at the moment from our Muslim communities, diverse BME communities, basically, how many of them responded to that consultation? If you did, what you told them, do you think, why not share that with us here on Islam Radio? Our telephone lines are open. 01733 602 133 is our landline number. That will put you right through to our office, and we can talk to you live on air, and you can share your views with our listeners. That would be great if you can do that. But alternatively, if you don't want to go live on air, you can send us a text message on 07411 191062, or you can comment on live stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, and we will respond to you, inshallah, and leave your name as well, so that we can actually mention you as well with your comments. So please do that. But yeah, from the City Care Centre on Thorpe Road to the City Hospital, the Urgent Treatment Centre and the out-of-hours GP service have been moved to the City Hospital. And the reason I think it's a good thing, because it's all under one roof, basically. And I mean, I know parking is a problem already on the City Hospital site, and I think that issue was raised by many of us, basically, and the hospital authorities are looking at addressing that particular issue. But it being on one site, if you need other interventions when you go in there, then it makes life that much easier for the medical professions to move you from one to the other one on the same site. It makes life that much easier for everyone involved, and in particular, I think, for the patient, basically. So it's much more convenient, but you may have different views. You may think that it was a bad move. It will cause difficulties and issues for you as an individual, as a user of the service, or you might have had previous experience, or you may have had an experience over the last 2 days since they've been relocated. Have you been there to the City Hospital, to the Urgent Treatment Centre, or to access today, because your GP surgery was closed and you had to go to the out-of-hours GP service, and you went to the City Hospital, and how was it? If you've just been there, or anything that you want to share with us, we would welcome. And if you go live on air, like I said, we do have a treat lined up for you. That is the voice of the late and the great Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, one of the two excellent, very popular qawwalis that we will play here before we finish the program. And I'm really desperate to get a caller to go live on air, so that at least I can treat myself and you to one of those qawwalis as well this afternoon here on Islam Radio, brothers and sisters. So have your views. So the first topic was the provision of public transport in Peterborough. That includes taxis as well, by the way, private hire and Hackney, buses, trains, and we talked about we don't have any trams in Peterborough, but is it something that you would welcome? Do you think that by having better public transport, it will reduce pollution, and our city would be much greener as well and healthier? Because all that pollution does affect our health as well, and we don't have, we have some green spaces and trees and what have you, but in some areas they're not that many, and in some areas life expectancy is quite low as well. And all these things matter in terms of our quality of life. If we work too many hours, don't make enough family time, there could be family situations as well for us to address. Children will miss out on that family time. You would miss out. We would miss out on family time. And so, give us a shout if you think that you are a taxi driver and you are charging too little or too much, or if you're one of the fare payers and you think that you've been paying too much. and the taxi fares should be reduced further. Anything that you have to say, tell us, like I said. So 2 topics: public transport provision in Peterborough, and also the move of the some of the services from City Care Centre, like the urgent treatment centre and the GP out of our service to the City Hospital. Is that a good move? Do you welcome that? Give us a call, 01733 602 133. We're almost running out of time, Shaz. I'm thinking, I think I'm going to have to treat myself to one of those qawwalis. What do you think?
Well, you've already treated me to lunch, so how can I possibly say no to you today now? I think that's a good idea, and probably one of the better ideas that you've come up with since I've known you. So go for it.
Okay, let's go for it. Okay. Brothers and sisters, we often as human beings, I know we all have this great belief in our Creator, our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the blessings that He has bestowed upon us, and we as human beings sometimes don't thank and remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all those blessings as often as we should. We're all guilty of that. Let's make a pledge that we will do that more often, inshallah, in future. But let's thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by listening to this qawwali, the voice of Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, Wahi Khuda Hai. I can remember listening to this during a live performance that I was watching many years ago. On stage performance by Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, the late and great. Wahi Khuda Hai. Enjoy.
तो है जो निजाम हस्ती चला रहा है.
Absolutely beautiful. I hope you enjoyed that. वही खुदा है जो निज़ाम हस्ती चला रहा है. Yes, he is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has blessed us with so much, brothers and sisters, and has blessed us with your very pleasant company, regardless of the fact that you weren't able to pluck up the courage to give us a call live on air to share your views on public transport here in Peterborough, or the move of the urgent treatment centre and the out of hours GP service to the city hospital day before yesterday. But nevertheless, we know you're there, brothers and sisters. We know we have your support and your du'as here for Salam Radio and for us as presenters and all our presenters and the team here on Salam Radio. We are very, very grateful. We have run out of time now, Shaz.
Well, it's been very pleasant to talk about those two important topics, which has been useful. One very quick point you pointed out earlier about public consultation. And I don't know how many people have responded. I think generally speaking, I would like to encourage our community to engage more in those consultations, because it's extremely important that they put the voice forward and the thoughts forward for the community.
Your voice does matter. We're here with you every fortnight, inshallah, on Islam Radio. And that's all from me, Ansar Ali and Shaz Nawaz. Keep us in your du'as. If we've said anything to offend you in any way, please forgive us, and always tune in to Islam Radio. Inshallah, we'll be back with you in a fortnight's time, 2 weeks' time,